Hi, my name is Christina, and if you're new to my channel, welcome. My channel focuses on the concept of narcissistic personality disorder, narcissism, just that narcissistic traits, mental abuse, and how to not only recover but survive through these topics if you are a victim. If you or someone you know is going through this type of abuse, I apologize and I'm grateful I can be here on your journey. Today's topic I wanted to talk about is the concept of future faking in narcissistic abuse. Now you may ask, well, what is the definition of future faking? Future faking is incredibly detrimental in narcissistic abuse because it not only feeds our sense of toxic hope, but it ties a person in our lives that has caused this manipulation, gaslighting, breaking your sense of self. All of the toxic things that they do are overlooked because it's tied to everything that you've ever wanted. And that is so dangerous. What they do is in the beginning, the love bombing phase as they call it. That person in any typical relationship, that's where you're learning things about each other. You're learning what their likes and dislikes are. You're learning about their hopes, their dreams, just the typical things, the pillow talk that you have. Or, with an employer, they're learning about what your ambitions are. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Your parents, they know what you want to be when you grow up, what your likes and dislikes are, the things that you aspire to become and the things you want to achieve. It's all those goals. So in the example of a relationship, this person that has NPD is taking not only that data, but an inventory and an analysis of all of the things that are important to you and what you want. When you look into a mirror, you see yourself. It's going to show you who you are. It's a true reflection unless you're in a fun house and it's distorted. Over time, that distortion happens with, if say you're looking into a mirror narcissistic abuse, because everything that you have told this person in confidence, being vulnerable as you should be in a typical relationship, is fed back to you in the aspect of feeding on your deepest insecurities, the things that bother you, the things that you're self-conscious about. It takes all of those things and uses them to hurt you. I'm kind of giving you an example of what mirroring is so you understand how it plays along in the future faking. So you start seeing a distorted sense of yourself in that mirror with that person, and you don't like what you see because it doesn't look like you, but it feels like you. You don't know what is going on with you. You don't know what's happening. You feel like you're falling apart. You're believing the things that are being told to you because you're looking into a mirror. So take that concept of how that plays into making you feel bad and staying stuck in a relationship like this. And during that mirroring phase, when they found out all those things that you wanted, just like they use your insecurities as a way to invalidate you and exploit you and make you feel like you do not deserve better, so you're stuck. All those good things, however, are used to feed you those breadcrumbs, as I went over in my last video. The breadcrumbs of all of the things that you think are possible in this relationship with this person. That if you just stick it out a little bit longer, if you just wait and see how things go down the line because they've promised you the moon and the stars, then you're finally going to get what you want. Understand that a lot of people feel guilt in this, because they feel like, why did I listen to that? Oh my God. Understand that it is not your fault that you trusted that your employer following through on the things you've made very clear in an interview that you wanted and were promised going forward, not abiding by that. A mother or parent not abiding by the fact that they promised you that they would come to your play. Those daily promises that you make as a parent for the ones that are going through this that have a narcissistic family member, those promises made during childhood daily that escalate into long-term promises and commitments that they break with the future faking going forward, that you're now accustomed to in adulthood, so you allow to happen. That relationship with that person that you want to marry them and have a family, and you're promised all these things, and you think as a team you are able to build this system and this life with them, and that should be completely possible in every aspect with all three of these examples. They're in a position of power and responsibility if they are the parent, the boss, the significant other, and by them not abiding by that breaks their core sense of self. You have to understand that a narcissist promises you things that they know right here and now. For example, in a relationship, honey, I'm going to marry you someday, and I promise you that I'm going to take care of you, and we're going to have the best life together. Just give me time to change. I promise you that I'll give you this beautiful life. I just need to work on myself. The fact I'm even saying these things, doesn't that show you that I'm trying? The fact I came back, doesn't that show you I care? Again, they're tossing you breadcrumbs of all of the things you want to hear, because now that they've mirrored you in the beginning, that is amazing for them, because now they have all the ammunition going forward to feed you the things that you want to hear. So that promise, the smoke and mirrors image, you're focusing on the image of the person they used to be when all those promises were made. That image is burned into your mind, and what is partially keeping you here right now and has accelerated you forming a trauma bond with them. So keeping this image in mind, now also putting next to it, they're standing there, just picture them on a mountain, and behind them is Disneyland, and they have their arms in the air with $100 bills falling, and they say, this is our life, you just have to be by my side, and this is gonna come to us, and it's gonna be great. That sounds so nice, except for the fact is, when you're looking at these patterns, how many promises have they kept to you in the here and now? A narcissist, again, does not want to put effort into the things in their life that they don't need to. So the concept and the goal here is a game at all times. It is to keep you around. They view their partner as an appliance. An appliance does something to benefit their life. So say you're doing the cooking, the cleaning, you're having sex with them, you are helping with bills. You have these purposes, and this appliance to them, this Hoover vacuum is working fantastic. It does the cooking, the cleaning, it changes light bulbs. Actually, I was offered a job when I was younger from a type of vacuum I'm sure you've all heard of that changes light bulbs, cleans animals, does all these things. The company offered me like $2,000 a week, and then there was trips to the Bahamas. It sounded amazing, and that's a perfect example of my parents telling me, no, that is ridiculous. If it's too good to be true, it sounds that way, it too often is. And I said, no, yes, absolutely. I'm so glad I did not do that. This is what you fall into, the scam of that future promise. Notice that all these tiny promises that are made in the here and now, have they been good on their word that has brought you to watch a video like this and show you a stable, healthy relationship where they're able to fulfill promises that aren't made in fleeting moments of either A, the very beginning when they were an actual normal, decent human being that treated you with love and respect, or B, because they have screwed up so badly that you finally got fed up and they lost you, which is so hard to do because of how committed you were and stuck in these trauma bonds, or they're going to lose you because of their behavior, that they actually make another promise when their behavior in the here and now does not even signify the type of action that would need to be taken to make it towards said future goal with you. Maybe you're fed up with your job and you're trying to leave and your boss is now offering you a promotion. They don't want to admit that they need you, but they're not going to want to lose you. That parent that never shows up for anything, they skipped your wedding rehearsal. Well, they don't want you to not pine for their attention anymore, so they're going to give you the deepest of excuses and promise going forward they'll be there for every baby step with those little grandbabies that they're forcing you to have. It is all a fairy tale of all the things you've ever wanted. And if someone can't even hold a promise in the here and now, notice if you bring to the table, well, that's really great that you're addressing these things that you want with me, but why is it that in the here and now, because you can't expect someone to just snap their fingers and make something happen in the future. That's the beautiful thing about future faking. It does not require anything but words, and they are so good at lying and saying words. They could talk all day and make themselves sound like the superior king of all that is humanity, but it's all crap. So if you present them with, okay, well, you're able to do A, B, and C right now to make it towards said goal, since that is something we're working towards, why aren't you doing these things? Or if you bring up, well, this is the 5th time you've made this promise and we're going on, 5 years now and you still have yet to do this. Why is it that in the past, I just want to make sure we have a solid plan going forward. Why have you continuously not held your word? That is going to infuriate them. They do not like being presented with actual facts, because then that corners them into having to admit that they have failed you. They were not a person of their word. They lied. They were not someone that could be reliable to you. All of those negative things that you're not being the abusive one because you're pointing out simple facts of a person not even trying. But when they're faced with the fact that they are all of these things and they know the truth, they know what they're doing. Again, they have strategically planned this entire thing. It is all that self-serving behavior on a platter, and you're calling out that attention to it. they will get angry and you will see narcissistic rage. That is why they don't want to hear it, because they know that you're right. So if you have to look at anything, look at patterns. Patterns don't lie. If you're trying to make an educated guess on what you have to look forward to, if you see a pattern constantly of a small bunny hopping into a lion's cage, and every time the lion ends up eating it, what are the odds of this rabbit hopping into said cage and them becoming best friends, and they are on websites together and just yay? That is slim to none. Picture being a doctor, for example. You have now spent 10 years of your time on med school, on countless nights studying, blood, sweat, and tears. You've financially invested thousands and thousands of dollars. You're in debt now. You have put your time, energy, and money into something that you thought would be beneficial to you down the road with the promise that it would pay off in the end. What would you do if the day that you were supposed to get your master's degree, when you went on stage, they said, you know, actually, I know that you invested all your money, your time, and energy into this, but yeah, I'm not going to be able to give you this master's. Matter of fact, your degrees before this, all that time, money, everything you invested, it means nothing now. Go find another occupation because we just changed our mind. You know, it's just not working out for us, but thanks anyway. How mad would you be? I mean, think about that in reality. This is literally what is going to happen to you if you fall into the trap of believing that this future faking behavior will pay off in the long run. And who would blame you for wanting to believe it? But here's something that you can use as an example right now, other than that, to prove my point. And I invite anyone to tell me I'm wrong. Look in the comment section and look at the number of the people in all of these support groups. Look at the YouTube channels. Look through every comment. Look through thousands and thousands and thousands of comments. How many people have you seen in 30+ year relationships, or that have spent their entire adult life, you know, since the minute they did get that degree, with an employer that was narcissistic, or that narcissistic parent that they've had and now they're 50 and they're literally healing the damage of the person that did that to them their entire lives? How many people do you see that said, you know, they put me through hell for years, but you know what? One day it paid off and they actually gave me what I wanted. That huge promise, it paid off. You're not going to see one example of anyone that has went through this, that has suddenly had this person have an epiphany and everything was great. If any of these things were done, God forbid, it was literally because there was a purpose that was being served by following through with said promise. It is all about them and self-serving. If you guys did live happily ever after because, you know, of you got your nursing degree and you were actually the one being financially supportive, the money aspect kept them in. Maybe they couldn't find someone better right now at the time in their mind because you are way too good enough. So right now you're their main source of supply. So they're going to feed you everything that you want to hear and you're going to believe it's great. But the point is, there is still something massively missing. That gaslighting, projection, all of those things that are designed to destroy you. Once you become stronger and stronger, you are even more of a target for them to tear down. And if you're not being torn down in that moment, you're providing some type of need. Guarantee of something else would to give them a better supply of that, they will turn around and snap on you so quick. The way they change up will baffle your mind, and you know I'm right because sadly, we have all experienced this so many times. It is insane. I was given the false promise time and time again. I'm going to tell the truth about you. I'm going to tell the truth about my lies. I'm going to admit to my entire family that we're together. I'm going to tell them that I was doing this to you and I was embarrassed and I didn't want to be judged of my past indiscretions that had nothing to do with me at all. Just don't want further judgment. I believed this facade for such a long time, and that is what kept me thinking that things would actually change. I was literally hit on social media because of how many lies this person has told and is now incredibly embarrassed of. And guess what didn't happen? It didn't change. And you know what else? In the beginning, I was under the impression the person I was in a relationship with saw, just as I did, how lucky, grateful, and happy we were because we had a really great life together. And all it took was one situation where they had to pick A or B, which was tell the truth, yeah, you're gonna get judged for it, but you're gonna do the right thing and you're not gonna destroy your family. And B, throw someone you love under the bus and make them look like the bad guy and then continuously snowball and escalate that. All it took was option B to save themselves. It is there inside of them. Because if you knew what you were signing up for, you would never have entered this relationship. And that promise of all the things you wanted is smoke and mirrors. Just picture them again, standing there, promising you all the things that you have dreamed of. You need to be responsible for your own goals. You should be able to have a partner, if it's a relationship, that you can have those goals discussed and work towards. You want to do it together as a team. You're together, not against each other. In these relationships, it is ping pong. It is a game, and there's constantly going to be someone who drops the ball, and they do not want it to be them. You should be able to not feel like your dreams are going to possibly be sabotaged or never met, or have hope that they, God forbid, will be, and that's the most promising thing you got going. That should not be what's keeping you around. Again, watch the patterns. Watch the small promises that they can't even account to. They can't even remember to pick up milk from the store. They can't simply not disrespect you or make you feel less than valid by telling you awful, demeaning things about yourself every time they're mad. If they can't even do that, what makes you think that down the line they're going to hold themselves accountable for delivering something bigger than anything that they're even willing to put effort into now? It is all about them. And that's ridiculous. It's laughable and it's embarrassing. And those breadcrumbs that are fed to you with the untied into the aspect of, hey, this is the love, attention, and respect you got in the beginning. This is the future of everything you've ever wanted that I've promised you right now. And it's so incredibly hard to prove that I'm not going to follow through. So it sounds great. And as the narcissist, it makes me feel so good inside because it is not showing them that they are failing you. It is letting them feel like they presented a proper image. And just like that mask, you're going to go and tell people all these things that they're promising to you. So it makes them look good and it makes them feel good about themselves. It doesn't make them feel like the failure that they are to you in this relationship, that they don't want to see clearly because they cannot stand looking in a mirror themselves. Oh, but they will distort the crap out of yours just to invalidate and destroy you. Best believe that. I think you're starting to see the pattern and how that trauma bond can come because you are put through so much stress by your wants, hopes, and dreams, your love and your heart, your vulnerability being taken, dismantled, destroyed, attacked, your insecurities used against you. And then, boom, you're sitting there in a pile of ashes wondering what the hell happened to you. If they couldn't make your life happy in the here and now, do not allow that person an opportunity to destroy your future. Set yourself responsible for your own future and your own goals. And do that with a partner that wants to support you in the way that they should. And you shouldn't have to just hope to God that you wake up tomorrow and that they still love you and still want to even be with you. No one deserves that. And they will get their karma, and that is something I will touch on in a further video. If you or someone you know is going through this type of abuse, I genuinely hope this helped you understand the concept of future faking and why it is so hard in terms of narcissistic abuse. I encourage you to like, subscribe, share this video. I will be releasing consistent new content, and I'm glad I could be a part of your journey. Take care.